Most gardeners wait years for soil to improve. They build compost piles, turn them, haul them, spread them, and hope that someday the ground will finally soften, darken, and come alive. But in nature, soil does not wait. It forms continuously, silently, and without compost bins. The forest floor does something most gardens never do. It makes soil in place, while plants are still growing, without removing anything. Once you understand this mulch trick and start using it the way ecosystems do, soil improvement stops being a long-term project and starts becoming a natural side effect of gardening itself. What most people call mulch is not how nature does it. Bark chips, straw, or plastic laid down in neat layers may block weeds and slow evaporation, but they miss the real function of mulch. In wild systems, mulch is not a product. It is a living process that connects plants above ground to biology below ground. When gardeners copy the forest floor instead of the hardware store aisle, soil begins to rebuild itself faster than compost ever could. Why bare soil almost never exists in nature. In healthy landscapes, exposed soil is temporary. Leaves fall, stems collapse, roots die back, insects shred material, fungi stitch it together, microbes pull it downward. This constant movement creates a thin, uneven blanket that protects the ground while feeding it at the same time. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is exported. Everything stays connected. This is why forest soils are rich even without human inputs. Organic matter is added continuously in small amounts, broken down at different speeds, and absorbed directly where plants grow. The soil never shuts down. It stays cool during heat, warmer during cold, and open enough for water and air to move freely. Ancient farmers noticed this long before modern gardening advice existed. They observed that the most fertile land was where plant debris accumulated undisturbed year after year. They did not call it mulch, they called it living ground. Most modern mulching focuses on coverage rather than function. Thick layers of wood chips or straw placed on bare soil may look tidy, but biologically they are disconnected. Without living roots feeding microbes from below and active organisms working material downward, these mulches decompose slowly. Some even repel water once dried out. Nature's mulch works because it is vertically integrated. Roots push sugars into the soil. Organisms pull carbon downward. Surface litter is constantly disturbed, fragmented, and absorbed. When mulch is treated as a dead layer instead of part of a cycle, most of its potential is lost. The forest floor is not neat. It is thin in places, thicker in others, and always changing. That constant change prevents compaction and keeps soil life active. The real secret behind the forest floor mulch trick. Well, the trick is not thickness. It is continuity. Plants grow, die, fall, and decompose right where they stand. Roots remain in the soil when tops die back, creating channels and feeding microbes. Surface material breaks down gradually instead of all at once. Nothing is removed, nothing is isolated. This creates a self-feeding system where soil is built from the top down and the bottom up at the same time. Once gardeners stop removing plant residues, everything shifts. What happens when you stop cleaning the garden? The biggest change comes when the garden stops being cleaned. After harvest, plants are cut at ground level instead of pulled. Roots stay in place. Stems are chopped and laid directly on the soil instead of hauled away. Weeds are cut and dropped rather than removed. Within weeks, fungal threads begin appearing under the debris. Soil temperatures stabilize. Water stops running off and starts soaking in. The garden begins mulching itself faster than any human effort could manage. This is soil formation happening in real time. Why diversity matters more than mulch depth. Nature rarely piles mulch in one uniform layer. Instead, it builds diversity. Leaves, stems, seed heads, fine roots, coarse roots, and even insect remains all break down at different speeds. This staggered decay feeds soil organisms continuously, rather than in pulses. When gardeners rely on a single mulch material, Underground life experiences feast and famine cycles. Biology surges, then stalls. Mixing plant residues naturally avoids this problem and supports a broader, more stable soil food web. Diversity keeps the system active without overwhelming it. How this method suppresses weeds without smothering soil. Living mulch systems do not rely on suffocation. They rely on timing and competition. Thin layers of constantly renewed organic matter block light just enough to prevent mass germination while still allowing air and water through. Seeds that do sprout are easier to manage because the soil underneath stays loose and biologically active. Weed pressure drops gradually rather than disappearing overnight, which is exactly how stable ecosystems behave. This approach builds long-term control instead of short-term suppression. How ancient systems used this without calling it mulch. Traditional farming systems quietly relied on in-place decomposition. Crops were grown among residues of previous growth. Fields were rested but never stripped bare. Nutrients cycled locally instead of being exported. These systems lasted for centuries because they copied how nature maintains fertility without erosion or exhaustion. The forest floor mulch trick is older than agriculture itself. Modern gardeners are simply relearning it. So, how can you put this into practice right away? Well, you can start by changing your removal habits. When plants are finished, just cut them at ground level and leave the roots in place. Then, chop the tops and spread them right where they grew. And, it really helps to allow some plants to complete their full life cycle instead of clearing everything out early. Water gently so organisms can move material downward over time. Take a moment to watch how the soil texture changes and notice how quickly those residues disappear. The goal here isn't a tidy surface, it's an active one. If you want to, you can accelerate this process by supporting biology with a simple microbial activation mix poured directly over chopped plant residues. Just mix 1 tablespoon of dry yeast, half a cup of sugar, and 10 liters of clean water. Stir it well and apply evenly over the surface. Now, this doesn't replace the system, it simply wakes it up, helping microbes begin working faster in the early stages. So, why does this outperform compost-heavy systems in the long run? Compost is, of course, valuable, but it's still an external input. Ecosystem mulching, on the other hand, builds fertility from within. Nutrients only need to move short distances, carbon stays put, and, soil organisms actually adapt to local conditions instead of being constantly reset. Over time, gardens become less dependent on additions and more resilient to stress. Once established, the system pretty much maintains itself. Why do gardeners resist this approach? Well, it looks messy, it challenges habits, and it requires trust in processes that can't be fully seen. But every healthy wild system proves it works. The most productive soils on Earth are not neat, they are alive. When you mulch like an ecosystem, the garden really does the rest. If this guide changed how you think about mulch and soil life, make sure to subscribe to Crop Corner for more practical, nature-backed growing strategies. And hey, share this with gardeners who want healthier soil without endless inputs. Grow with nature and let the ground build itself.